Coming up on Fulton Today, Fulton voters have one last chance to help determine two major state races. We'll have details.
Fulton's finance team reveals to the Board of Commissioners the 2019 proposed operating budget and their initial spending and savings plans. I'm Brian Robinson, and I'll have more on this story, including when citizens can voice their opinion about the budget, coming up.
And these once foster children celebrate the start of a new life with their new families. That and much more starts right now on Fulton Today. Welcome to Fulton Today. I'm Dante Carter in for Shania Chavis Rucker. Fulton County voters now have a better idea of whether or not their favorite county programs and services will be available in 2019. After a series of internal budget workshops, the Fulton County manager and finance team gives the Board of Commissioners their first official look at the proposed 2019 spending and savings plan. FGTV's Brian Robinson joins us now with more.
This initial proposed operating budget for 2019 totals approximately $1.1 billion. The biggest takeaway, however, no budget reductions are anticipated.
I'm encouraged by some of the recommendations that have been made.
Prior to the commissioners offering their comments on the 2019 proposed operating budget, they were presented with what the county manager and chief financial officer calls 6 significant proposals to consider, each aligning with the county's priority areas.
We believe we have very strong internal support for these proposals because, again, as I remind you, we spent less time grinding on the budgets by each department and more time having cross-functional discussions with our department heads to arrive at these 5 to 6 proposals.
Of the proposed $1.1 billion, just over $702 million would go to the general fund.
Specifically with regards to the county's general fund, when we developed the revenue budget, we made several assumptions, and these assumptions follow along with the multi-year planning, scenario planning that we provided during the millage rate discussions. We assumed that we would roll the millage rate back from its current 10.2 to the 10.12 that we had projected in August.
Among the items proposed, Fulton's financial team is seeking permanent funding of the Justice Reinvestment Initiative. Additional behavioral health services is also included with the county's proposal of a $2 million investment. The county would also ask for an additional $2 million from the state in support. Fulton's senior population remains a priority. The county is planning on upgrading senior centers as well as maintaining its investment in popular senior service programs like home-delivered meals and transportation services. To ensure all people's lives are culturally enriched, the county's financial commitment to the arts and library system will be maintained with an investment of $54.8 million. As part of the initiative to strengthen the property tax revenue infrastructure, the county will continue to work on its multi-year plan to improve the tax system with additional personnel and new equipment for the tax assessor's and tax commissioner's office. To bring in more new business, upgrades to the Fulton County Airport at Charlie Brown Field has been proposed, and Fulton County also plans to invest in both physical and cybersecurity so that services can still continue should an attack occur.
Now, after this week, Fulton County citizens will have at least 2 more opportunities to voice their opinion on the proposed budget. December 12th and the legally required public hearing during the Board of Commissioners recess meeting on December 19th. The budget is expected to be adopted by the January 23rd recess meeting. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Brian Robinson.
Thank you, Brian. Fulton County voters return to the polls. Early voting for the December 4th runoff election begins and ends this week. Despite over 200,000 voters casting their ballot during the early voting period and thousands more on Election Day, 2 state races remain undecided: Secretary of State and a 3rd District Public Service Commission seat. For this early voting cycle, voters have 15 locations from 8:30 a.m. until 7 p.m. If you vote on December 4th, you must vote at your designated polling location found on your head of household mailing card or the Secretary of State's website. You must also present one of 6 acceptable forms of identification listed here.
It's always important for voters to verify whether they're registered to vote so that when they go to the polls, they will know not only where to go, but that they are registered and then they'll only have to present their ID. If you don't verify before you go to the polls, you could walk into the poll without having fixed what you need to ahead of time, and you might end up having to vote provisionally.
To see a full list of the early voting locations or to learn more information about the December 4th runoff election, log on to fultonelections.com. The Fulton County Clerk to the Commission is officially sworn in.
Of the United States of America.
Congratulations.
During an intimate ceremony in the Board of Commissioners conference room, Chairman Rob Pitts administered the oath of office to Dr. Jesse Harris. Colleagues and county staff were in attendance to witness the occasion. Dr. Harris brings more than 15 years of experience in public service with expertise in both county and city clerk operations. After taking his oath, Dr. Harris discussed the ideas he would like to implement.
Some of my ideas for the clerk's office is definitely records management, as well as just transparency. So serving as the liaison between the public and the Board of Commissioners, making sure that agendas are posted on time, looking at new ways to standardize or streamline the agenda management process, and also just create a more cohesive environment within the clerk's office in order to be more effective and efficient in our service delivery.
Glad to have him. He has some new ideas, things that we need to be doing better, utilizing more technology to make sure and to ensure that our records are kept, which is really the primary job of the clerk, to make sure that the county records are kept safe and secure. So welcome, Mr. Harris.
The clerk prepares and sounds board meeting agendas, keeps the minutes of all board meetings, provides research of commission records, and assists the board with administrative and legislative functions. A beloved Fulton County Juvenile Court judge is remembered for his commitment to education and to Fulton County children. FGTV's Daryl Carver shares the story of how the work of the Honorable Willie Lovett Jr. will forever live on.
With one of the first graduates of Chattahoochee Hills Charter School at her side, the widow of Judge Willie Lovett Jr., Salitha Butler, initiates a new beginning at the South Fulton School.
1, 2, 3,
The ribbon-cutting ceremony celebrated the opening of the Judge Willie J. Lovett Jr. building. Named after the late judge, who was the school's first board chair in 2014, the new building provides learning spaces for the school's scholar students.
All of our scholars who are currently in trailers are going to be happy. Right? They've suffered through the trailers and now are going to be rewarded with really an excellent facility to continue their learning.
The Judge Willie J. Lovett Jr. building features 2 science, technology, engineering, art, and math labs, better known as STEAM labs, 8 classrooms, an auditorium, and cafeteria space. Construction workers first broke ground on the building in February of this year. Though classrooms were not ready to be toured, the late judge's widow said the new building provides a wonderful opportunity for young people in Fulton County.
Willie absolutely adored spending time with young people, and this is the culmination of everything that he spent so much time doing.
The time and love Judge Lovett offered is a fitting tribute to the man who did so much to help get the school started. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Daryl Carver.
Thanks, Daryl. Judge Lovett passed away in January of 2017. We will have more on this year's National Adoption Day coming up later in the show. Coming up next on Fulton Today, a Fulton County Commissioner helps Atlanta's less fortunate feel loved and stay warm this holiday season. Details are next in our district by district coverage. Fulton leaders celebrate the birthday of its oldest known county resident and blanket homeless citizens with love. Here's this week's district by district coverage. Chairman Rob Pitts hosts a birthday celebration for one of the county's most seasoned residents. Ms. Leela Williams turned 106 years old this year, making her the oldest known citizen in the county and the city of Atlanta.
A lot of people get a lot of accolades and praise here who are from Atlanta, who've done work here in Atlanta, but it's these situations, people like we're celebrating here today who really deserve the credit. So I'm just delighted to have the opportunity to welcome her, family, and friends here.
The at-large commissioner was joined by Fulton County District Attorney Paul Howard, who celebrated the birthday by making Miss Williams an honorary Fulton County District Attorney, complete with a badge and certificate.
It was very emotional for me because I was thinking about all of the years that she essentially was my second mother, and what she was able to do for myself as a young entrepreneur, along with my late brother Michael Hollis. And she and my mother took their life savings to help start Air Atlanta, which would become eventually a $100 million venture, the only black commercial airline to ever start in the United States of America.
Ms. Williams was the longtime owner of Leela Dinette on Fair Street in the city of Atlanta. And District 1 Commissioner returns from the nation's capital with a better understanding of a national innovative workplace training program. Commissioner Liz Hausman joined President Donald Trump, Ivanka Trump, and other leaders for the Pledge to America's Workers discussion.
Going to Washington was just an opportunity for, as a Fulton County official, to learn more about some programs that's happening at the administration level with regard to workforce development.
Commissioner Hausman was the only attendee from Georgia as the group explored opportunities to align private industry and workforce development programs to more efficiently match workers with jobs in the marketplace. District 4 Commissioner Natalie Hall joins the local election officials for a conversation about the role of African American women in politics. The commissioner shared her story about why she jumped into the leadership position at the event held at Impact Church in East Point.
The purpose of the event was to educate the community on various ways to effect change through advocacy and legislation, volunteer work, and how to get involved by serving on local community boards in their counties and cities. I served as a panelist and spoke on the topic of the various ways Fulton County residents can give back by serving on various Fulton County boards and authorities.
Commissioner Hall was on the panel with City of Atlanta Councilwoman Marcy Overstreet, East Point Mayor Deanna Ingraham, and Cobb County Commissioner Lisa Cupid. The event was hosted by several local alumni chapters of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Inc., Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Inc., and local churches and a professional women's legal organization. Commissioner Arrington was also in attendance. And District 5 office offers clothing and blankets for Fulton County citizens who are without a permanent place to call home. Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr. hosted his annual Blankets of Love event at the Fulton County Government Center.
This is our 6th year doing our Blanket Atlanta with Love Drive. We're very excited about it. We've had great response, and we're just happy to be able to serve others.
Fulton County employees helped to collect the clothing and blankets and donated toiletry items. The collected goods were distributed to clients of the Atlanta Recovery Center and other charities serving the homeless. And finally, seniors at the Harriet G. Darnell Senior Facility Center are officially in the holiday spirit. Members of the facility enjoyed the center's annual holiday gala. Complete with dancing and fellowship, the group says they look forward to this event every year.
I came out with my mother for the event, and it seems to be very nice people here, and the surrounding is very good.
Commissioner Darnell says she is grateful that seniors can share their holiday time together.
I want to say thank you on behalf of all the people of District 6 and all the people of Fulton County. Was there some kind of lighting of the tree? Lighting of the tree? Let me tell you, it's hard to keep up. But let me tell you, it's beautiful. I thank you all so very, very much.
This is just one of many holiday celebrations at the county's senior facilities. Contact the Star Line for more details. Still to come, children once living in Fulton County foster homes can now say they are part of a forever family. We'll share their story with you next when Fulton Today returns. The work continues for members of Fulton's HIV and AIDS Prevention Care and Policy Advisory Committee. Board members met to pick up on agenda items from their first meeting and to discuss new action items. The committee will periodically report to the Board of Commissioners on the impact and effectiveness of policy recommendations.
Each commissioner appoints 2 members, but they also set the legislation so that community members can be participants in the committees and in the subcommittees, so they're encouraging community participation.
The group will also provide new strategies and policies to address HIV and AIDS in Fulton County.
We're very pleased that this committee has been created by this commission to begin to continue to advise them directly on the issues that really stretch beyond just issues of the health department or the Ryan White program, but really look at a wide variety of aspects that are centered around the quality of life for all people.
This group replaced the former Fulton County HIV Task Force, although many of the members are still the same. Fulton County has the highest number of HIV cases in the state. Fulton's Board of Health is preparing for the big game to come to Atlanta. Health professionals say their playbook is all about food defense and food safety. The Board of Health, along with the Georgia Department of Health, the USDA, the FDA, and the Georgia Department of Agriculture are all teaming up. The health partners are working to ensure that food prepared and purchased at the big game and at its surrounding venues are safe to eat.
What types of stuff were the inspectors taught today?
What to look for, the do's and don'ts, good practices, being very lenient. There's going to be a lot of stuff that they're not used to seeing. There's going to be a lot of stuff on the fly, so trying to prepare them for anything that they might see.
The Super Bowl food defense and safety training sessions will continue leading up to the February event.
Fulton County is ready more than any other municipality that's had the Super Bowl before, so I'm very confident. And we started way back in May, so when Super Bowl comes, we'll be ready.
Fulton's environmental health team regularly inspects all eating establishments in the county. Super Bowl food vendors will be required to get permits and will be inspected as well. The holiday officially is in full swing thanks to an annual event in juvenile court that helps to create forever families. Here's FGTV's Priscilla Ortega, who reports on National Adoption Day 2018.
With a stroke of a pen and a lot of hugs, children who were once in the foster care system became a part of a forever family.
I'm happy to sign your order, making you a forever family today.
This is National Adoption Day, and in Fulton County Juvenile Court, it's the day where judges officially finalized 12 adoptions.
We have over 117,000 children nationwide that are waiting in foster care to be adopted. And locally, we have an extraordinary number of children that are ready. They've already had all of the other things done. They are just waiting to be a part of a forever family.
Before the adoptions became official, families and friends gathered for a program to hear from juvenile court officials and special guests. Guests like keynote speaker Melissa Carter, who was adopted as a baby and who now works as an advocate for children.
No matter how common this experience is for all of us, it's also uniquely personal to each of us.
The court remembered one of its own, the Honorable Willie Lovett, by honoring one of Fulton's child advocate attorneys with an award that bears the late judge's name.
Children, I want you to know how special you are.
And Fulton's clerk of magistrate and superior court, who was also adopted as a young girl, presented baskets to the new families on behalf of her office. Even the State Office of Family and Children's Services celebrated the big day.
We see the beginning of these situations, these families, and then to be able to see the whole process through and then finalize the joy of a forever family is just amazing.
With all the gifts and fun, this day was primarily about creating families, forever families as they are known, and it's exactly what these parents wanted to do.
Even if they weren't my real blood, just to do it to help people, I love it.
There are a lot of children out there that needed love, and so we decided to open up our home to offer someone a new lease on life. And God has blessed us with Raymond, and we're excited to start this new chapter in our life today.
And his new adopted son's emotions and his reactions said it all.
I get a new family and get a new life.
It was the perfect way to kick off the holiday season and kick off a new way of life, a part of a permanent family forever. For FGTV, I'm Priscilla Ortega.
Thanks, Priscilla. If you are interested in creating a forever family by fostering or adopting a child or teenager, please check out the Fulton County Juvenile Court website. Still to come on Fulton Today, these citizens are told to create their own newscast from scratch. We'll show you the results next when Fulton Today returns. The Aviation Community Cultural Center presents Tuskegee Airs, Heroes Within, influenced by the legendary Tuskegee Airmen. The family-friendly exhibit is a futuristic sci-fi adventure that follows a group of gifted aviators on a mission to save Earth. Visitors will become part of this futuristic squadron with animations done by local illustrator Marcus Williams and children's book author Greg Burnham.
What we hope to achieve here is to provide the community with some education about the Tuskegee Airmen and how their legacy lives on and influences the young people today. The artists have created a great series of works that deals with the literary arts as well as illustration and art, merged together to tell a new story, invigorating the legacy and also continuing forward.
Tuskegee Airs, Heroes Within exhibit is open Tuesday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and runs through January 12th. Best of all, it's free and open to the public. For more information, visit fultonarts.org or call 404-612-8600. And finally, it was all lights, camera, and plenty of action for the final class of this year's Citizens University.
Welcome to this special election coverage. I'm Rodney Littles.
The students learned about the day-to-day operations of the External Affairs Department, which includes FGTV, Communications, and Intergovernmental Affairs. After a brief overview of the department's mission, the class was tasked with creating a newscast and organizing a press conference centered around the November general election.
The elections director, Victoria Kane, she made a statement that
they tackled everything from anchoring to newscasts to running the cameras and even reporting live from the scene.
If you have any specific questions regarding any matters, please see me after the press conference.
After the crash course was complete, the students recapped the experience.
It was a little bit difficult. Once we found out what the roles were, then we were able to make the adjustment. But it was difficult, especially at first, trying to figure out what is it we're supposed to be doing.
I learned the difficulties of this job that you guys do every day. High pressure, high pace, fast pace, and man, I guess you got to stay on your toes in to keep up with everything that's going on.
Next week, we'll show you how the students wrapped up their 12-week interactive sessions with their own graduation ceremony. And before we go, our reminder that FGTV wants to connect with you online. Be sure to follow FGTV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for up-to-date Fulton County news. You can watch a replay of this show and other FGTV programming anytime on our YouTube channel. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. I'm Dante Carter, in for Shania Chavis-Rucker. Thank you so much for watching, and join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.